One of the most powerful images the Bible gives us of God is not a ruler on a throne, not a warrior, not some cosmic end-all be-all sitting on the corners of the galaxy, but it is of a shepherd. And that image tells us everything about how God relates to his people and how his people are meant to care for one another. Pastor Steve's opened up with Psalms 23rd or the 23, however you like to pronounce that. And it opens with words many of us know by heart. The Lord is my shepherd, and I have all I need, as David describes the good shepherd. Stay tuned as we dive into elders and deacons. Let me introduce you to two of the most wonderful women on God's creation, this thing we call Earth. One hails from T-Town, Tacoma. The other from the smooth, quiet suburbs of Redmond. Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year's to you. I introduce to you Kim and Amanda. Take it away, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm feeling like I should have made a different hairstyle choice today.
Oh.
Looking at myself in the monitor, so I just won't look at the monitor.
That's good strategy.
I highly
there.
suggest that you guys don't look either.
This is a listening only
This
show.
is a listening only show.
We've changed the rules.
A lot going on. Yeah, biblical leadership.
Yeah, there was a lot.
I know.
In yesterday.
I wasn't sure I'd have a lot of notes.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of notes.
Yes.
A lot of notes.
Was that you like, hey, what are we going to talk about on the podcast?
I did, because I thought it was going to be a little more rule-centric or something. I wasn't sure what I thought, but it wasn't what I got, which is great.
Yes.
Once again, Pastor Steve comes in and throws a curveball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Pastor Sly.
Pastor Sly. Yeah, we're all going to start calling
We're just
Steve
changing
Sly.
names.
Yeah.
Just changing names.
We're all joining the Sly family.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Get our room ready, please.
The Sly family.
What's for dinner?
You like that, right?
Yeah. Like it.
Oh.
So what are some of the takeaways you lady took from the sermon?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of imagery about shepherds and sheep when he started out. And I think most everybody is familiar with Psalm 23, and it kind of, as I sat and reread it and listened to Steve say it and reread it myself, and it's kind of the perfect. It's not really a prayer. I guess it's a prayer. Kind of like the Lord's Prayer is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It explains exactly what God feels for us and is willing to do for us. But we're sheep. We are sheep. We are. And so I thought I'd just find a few little descriptive words about sheep. They're messy. I mean, they're a little messy.
Yeah.
But we're constantly referred to as them, right? Compared to them. We're needy, tend to flock together, timid, easily led, helpless, and prone to wander. I mean, they're also sweet and gentle and can recognize faces and voices, and they do have some other attributes that aren't all negative. But when it comes to how we wander around, wondering what we're supposed to do and where we're supposed to be, it's a really apt description.
Yeah, it is very fitting for sure. I liked all of the verses that Steve referred to yesterday, and especially the one where it talked kind of specifically about what attributes of an elder, what they're supposed to have. I thought that was such a really clear description.
Mm-hmm.
There was no like, I wonder what this means. It was very clear.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
And I wrote some of those down too. Just accountability and integrity, empathy and trust, resilience and vision, initiative, leading by example.
Mm-hmm.
So it when you think about that as a person in leadership versus a sheep,
Yeah.
you can kind of tell the difference. We
For
don't have to
sure.
stay sheep, though.
No.
Was kind of Steve's point as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a good reminder, too, of how when Jesus was on earth, how he role modeled. I think people had expectations of a different kind of leader, but he was very much the servant leader that came and washed feet.
Yep. Yep. Well, and I think people wonder, because Steve kind of gave us all a shout out, if you will, that we can all get ready to lead.
Yeah.
Right. And it shouldn't just be done by a small group of people or the same group of people. But how do you get started in doing that? And I think that's a deterrent to a lot of folks who, our friend Scott always likens the nudge that he gets, and then whether or not he responds to it.
Yeah.
But most of the time when he does, and I think he does all the time, actually, something comes of that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think to kind of back up to what you're saying is you might not be ready to be the president of the elders.
Sure.
But you should be taking steps. And I
Yes.
think the thing that's really, that I kind of took away from this, or that popped into my mind, it reminded me of the parable in Matthew 25, where it's the master, he is going away, and he gives 3 of his servants different amounts of money. And the first 2, steward it well, right? And multiply it. And then the last one buries it and nothing happens. And obviously the master is not very impressed with that result, but we're given talents and gifts from God to use in the church for the benefit of the church, to glorify God, to honor him, and we should be multiplying those things. And
Right.
so if you're looking back to when you first accepted the Lord and you look exactly the same, that should be something that you're thinking about.
Well, squandering maybe isn't quite the right word, but not utilizing the gifts, the talents, whether they be physical gifts or spiritual gifts. I mean, if you sit on those and do nothing with them,
Yeah.
then how do you witness to other people? What does that look
Exactly.
like? Well, here's what you ought to do.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that,
Yeah.
but I know what you should be doing.
Right.
So I had a conversation this morning actually with a wise person that I know, and
Is his last name Sly?
his last name is Sly. Because everybody's last name is Sly. Where do you start? Well, it doesn't have to be big. Just
Yeah.
keep it simple. And we've talked about simplicity being a good way to approach things. You don't have to try to do all of it at once, right? Because if you start in a simple fashion, you can be consistent with something that
Yeah.
makes sense to you and is workable for you, and you can build on, right? Because that's what consistency does. It makes you feel more confident then in your abilities or your gifts and how you're going to share your gifts.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of folks just get stopped at the start gate because it's too much too soon, or they're gonna go out too fast.
Yeah.
It's a marathon, right? Not a sprint. And,
Right.
And I think that if we just take a small dose,
Yeah.
because we know what we're supposed to do. We all know what we're supposed to do, what we're called to do.
Yeah.
And squandering anything that's God-given is just a shame on us. We should not be doing that. And then wondering why we're not feeling better about our relationships or our lot in life, if you will, or because it's all God-given.
For sure.
It's how we recognize it and what we do with it.
Yeah, I think we were talking earlier about, I think too many of us, all of us, we base what we do on how it'll benefit us, right?
Are you saying we self-serving?
What?
You did not say that.
What?
I know, I did. And that's the way of the world. And as Christians, as believers in Christ, we're called to something different from that.
Yeah. Well, we shouldn't be consumers of our Christian faith. We should be contributors to it.
Yeah. I wrote this down from something I
Very
read.
shocking.
It says, serving in the church represents our faith in action. We are encouraged to live out our beliefs through tangible actions. It's through these acts of service that our faith becomes visible and reflects Christ's love in our communities. As we engage in serving, our relationship with God deepens and encourages those around us to walk in faith too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the Bible it says we must carry our cross, pick up our cross and carry it, right? And exactly what you alluded to, I think we are, a lot of us, not everyone, is consumer Christians. And we're not willing, maybe, to pick up our cross. And once you accept Christ, there's a cost to this.
Yes.
And exactly what you alluded to, Amanda, you shouldn't be at the same point 5 years, 10 years,
Right.
15 years down in your road.
Right.
You should be now shepherding
Yes.
in some form
Yes.
someone else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be the same as when you first came. And I think a lot of people don't want to take on that responsibility. I admire Kim and Steve and others who's like, this is not for me. But they stepped out and they took on that mantle.
Yeah.
You know? So kudos to all the life
Yes.
group leaders, all the people that are very involved in picking up that cross, your cross, and carrying it forward.
Yeah. I think many hands make light work too.
Yes.
And expecting a small group of people or the pastors to do everything is a very unreasonable.
Well, I think people are very
expectation.
willing to let somebody else do a thing,
Yeah.
right? Because of whatever, fear, laziness,
Yeah.
whatever it is. You know your reasons for not doing a thing. We all have our reasons for not starting a thing or sticking with a thing or perpetrating a thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
called to action. We're not supposed to be nonchalant Christians. We're supposed to be involved in each other's lives and caring for one another to the other person's greater good, which is kind of our manifesto here. Is if it's not serving somebody else in a positive way, then I'm not doing something quite right.
Well,
And I
and
like-
you hear,
oh,
oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
You hear so often when new people come to North Lake, they're like, I love it. Everybody was so nice. They're so welcoming. And I think to myself, capture that feeling.
Yeah.
And then
Bottle that up.
turn it around on somebody
Let it
else
go.
because that's how this keeps
It's
going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was just going to say this. Even when in the first church in Acts, right? Peter and all the disciples, they was being the sheeps.
Yeah.
But on the day of Pentecost, they rose up and started being shepherds,
Yeah.
right? And then they divided the team. Because, like you said, everyone, needed to take a part. And that's when the deacons was formed.
Mhm.
Or in our case, the ALT. Sorry about hitting the mic. The ALT, because, to take care of the business aspect of the church, helping the people out, doing the Robin Castiglione's
Yeah.
type stuff, giving out and helping out. And the elders was focusing more on the spiritual aspect of the church,
Yeah.
going out before the God, going out and being with the people, finding out what the needs are spiritually and so forth, So
Yep.
I love that, how it's demonstrated, like we've just been saying, from
Yeah.
that sheep to the shepherding.
Yeah, there are defined roles, certainly in elders and deacons or, what phraseology you want to use for those two
Yeah.
things, but they're very different roles. and it's important, because if you focus too much on one or the other, then, you know, obviously something gets missed.
Mm-hmm.
And so having those defined leadership roles is really critical to making sure you're not missing things, and things are being done for God's kingdom, not just for just this little building on this corner, right? We need to think globally, and that allows us to do that when we've got defined roles where we know who to turn to for responses, and who to go to in times of need, right?
Yeah.
All right, Kim, Amanda, are there any questions you'd like to leave with the audience?
I would just say, are you growing in what God gave you, or are you staying the same?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and are you good at serving when you get nothing in return?
Yeah.
Okay, we're starting off the new year with a bang. Pow, pow. All right, guys, do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe so you can stay up with the flow and what the talk is going on here at the NCCR podcast. Until then, to next week, same bat time, same bat channel. I might get in trouble for using that phrase, but I did it. We are out.